All right, Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, back in studio. Welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, Brandon. It's great to be back.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming in. So good news with the coronavirus. There seems to be the UV light is proving to be effective somewhat.
Yeah, we got some good news recently. The scientific community has released how much UV energy, basically they call it dosage, is required to basically inactivate coronavirus. And it's relatively low. Most of the things that we try and target with UV are much higher than that. Legionnaire's disease, the Legionella bacterium, takes about twice as much. That's what UV was primarily first used for 20 years ago to help eliminate that inside air conditioning units. Black mold takes about 100 times as much. So they've released that it takes about 3.7 microjoules per centimeter squared. That's what they call a dosage based on time and everything like that. But that's very easy to generate with an ultraviolet light installed in an HVAC system. So that's great news.
Wow.
We knew our products should be effective, but it was too early to say that in March, but now we can say that a properly installed ultraviolet system in your home air conditioning is very effective at destroying that virus.
Yeah, Greg, I mean, that was one of the big concerns is how are we transmitting it? How is it coming through? People didn't know. Is it transmitted from a toilet flush, as one of the producers mentioned? How does this thing get in the air? How is it contracted? Does it go through your eyes? They're saying wear your sunglasses or your goggles,
Yeah, we got some other good news along that front too. I mean, the virus itself is very small. It's about 1/10 of a nanometer, which is microscopic. So that's very hard to filter out of the air by itself. That's where UV comes in. But the good news about how it's transmitting is it's primarily aerosol. So like flushing a toilet will put aerosols, particles of moisture into the air.
Right.
So we'll sneezes, coughs, but those particles are much larger. They're more like 10 nanometers. So 1/10 of a nanometer to 10 nanometers is like the difference between a cat and an elephant.
Wow.
A cat might be able to sneak past you without you getting your hands on them, but an elephant, you can probably get your hands on it. It might destroy you, but you can get your hands on it. So it's easier to filter something like that as well. So it's good news as far as trying to treat and sterilize and protect environments that
we're talking with Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay, longtime friend of the program. Again, supporting the local economy, the local companies right here in Tampa Bay. Greg, how do consumers, what does this mean to them? Because you talk about a UV light proving effective. Mm-hmm. There's actual attachments that you have that will go to the air handler, the AC unit. How does that work?
Correct. Yeah, there are products that can be installed on an existing air conditioning system or as part of a new one, but it's a accessory product. It's not necessarily part of the system itself, but it can be added to the system.
Right.
Both to filter particulates out of the air, like the aerosols, and then also the UV products to sterilize, kill, and inactivate any of those viruses. So those are all products that can be added to your system, and we now know that they're 99.9% effective at destroying this virus. So that's
your average house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 2,000 square foot home. What would your accessory cost? I know there's probably a high low on that.
Correct. Yeah, a budget system, you're probably in the 300 range for something that will generate that 3.7 millijoules per centimeter squared. You can buy products online for cheaper than that, but most of those will not generate that kind of dosage. So probably around 300 on the low end. If you want to go, there's some very nice high-end products that are in the $1,500 to $1,800 range, more of a commercial grade, but middle of the road, you can get something really nice for around $500-600 to help protect your
seems
home.
Like it seems like some people too, because we've had one of our newer show partners, Brandon Faust, with moldzero.com, and if you caught some of his shows, he talks a lot about the underlying health conditions that people have. Sometimes there's numerous stories that he's had over the day of the person's sick, they don't know where it's coming from. The doctor says, well, I've narrowed it down to this. We've got this. We don't know. We don't think it's that. maybe you should get a mold test on your home, and then lo and behold, there's mold right next to where they're sleeping at night. So these indoor air quality is a real deal.
Definitely, yeah. We had a situation a few months back where a woman was diagnosed as having mold in her blood, and that was causing sickness. It took them a year and a half to find that before they finally figured out that was what was causing her sickness.
Yeah.
And then they finally had to go through the treatment process of getting it out of the house, which involved removing all the insulation from the attic, removing all the ductwork from the attic. That's where the mold was in the attic.
Wow.
Sterilizing it and then reinstalling everything. So, and that has solved her issue, but it took a long time to find that. But yeah, it is a very, can be a very difficult thing to narrow down.
Yeah, I imagine. So when you look at also, there's another program. So you have the VIP maintenance plan as well. That's always something worth mentioning here.
Most definitely. Our VIP maintenance program is a preventative maintenance program where we kind of take care of your air conditioner for you. We come out twice a year under that program and do a maintenance. One part of it, we're doing a very in-depth cleaning. The other, basically just a lighter cleaning and check to make sure that the unit's working and operating the way it should. We do all that for $14 a month per system. There are numerous studies that have shown that preventative maintenance pays back in lower operating costs of your air conditioner, at least that $14 a month. So it really doesn't cost you anything to be a part of that program. You're either paying it to the power company or you're paying it to an air conditioning contractor to do a good job at taking care of your system.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you look at the opportunity to have the health side. I think going back to the health side, and I've heard that same thing from Brandon about mold in the blood. Can you imagine it gets to a point where you're bringing it in through your lungs, but it actually gets into your bloodstream? That to me is such a huge thing, and especially for the older population here in Tampa Bay. Now that you have this pandemic that's involved, the UV, taking care of your air conditioning system, simple things like changing the filters. The AC guy of Tampa Bay, longtime friends of the program here, we'd love for you to support them locally. And if you wanted to take action like a lot of our listeners do, just simply text or call AC. Just text AC or call 813-750 0550. That's our hotline number, 813-750-0550. We'll put you right in touch with Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay. Family-run business. You got a great office staff, great team. Yeah. And I've met several of your reps because we highly recommend you guys as well working with us.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. So doing a great job in the community, and that's what it's all about here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to remind you about the show philosophy. We want to be that turnkey solution here. Over 50 different show partners that we bring in and talk about all types of different stuff from, you've heard self-defense talk to solar talk to, here with AC guy of Tampa Bay, several attorneys as well, CPAs, financial advisors, lots of ways that we help you here. And of course, heavy on the real estate side, credit improvement. But it's all about you reaching out, our radio, TV show family. We do appreciate the uptick in calls lately. It seems like people, I don't know if it's the election year, the pandemic, more people calling in, reaching out and get in touch with us. So we greatly appreciate that. So let's, Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we got Children's Cancer Center. And Greg, you can hang out with us as well. That's a phoner. But let's go ahead and get like your lightning round tip here, top tips, parting words of wisdom.
I definitely would recommend doing something to maintain your air conditioner. We often say love your air conditioner so it can love you back. Your air conditioner, if you're living in Florida, it works hard, really hard.
Yeah.
So it's really important just to give it that maintenance. That maintenance program is really inexpensive. Give it the maintenance it needs. Make sure it's in top operating condition. I really believe that everybody should have some sort of UV product or indoor air quality product installed as well. They're becoming more and more affordable, and certainly in light of where we live in the middle of this pandemic today, it's a great way to help improve your living condition inside your home.
Yeah, it's important. And on that note as well, you can buy the different over-the-counter type things. Are those effective, or are they kind of throwing money out there?
Like the room by room? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a little room deal you might pick up from a store.
Yeah, we call those air purifiers. But yes, they're okay, but they're very limited in their reach because they're basically going to just do like a 10 by 10 area. Okay. So if you have a 2,000 square foot home, you might need 20 of them.
Right.
So a central system's a more effective way doing it as part of your air conditioner if you want to treat the whole house. Now, if you have, somebody living in a bedroom that's bedridden, putting one in there obviously definitely would help that area. But if you want to try and treat the whole house, part of the central system's a better approach.
Yeah, and that might be a good idea if you do have, because we know that the COVID-19, I think the average death was like 79 years of age, so it might be a good idea for seniors to have something like that in their room. Add the UV type protection onto the actual air handler itself, and reach out to AC Guy of Tampa Bay. If you can hang around with us, Greg, we'll hang out. We got Children's Cancer Center coming up. Also, our feel good story of the day coming up is a good one. We've got a 9-year-old boy gets thousands of adoption requests after heartbreaking interview.